Hi everyone, so this is going to be a Student Life at Kent Q&A. I'm just going to wait for Jack to hop on with me, but please bear with. But if you've got any questions, just comment them down below and we'll try and answer them. Who's joining?
Hey Amelia.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good, good, not bad, not bad.
Good, good.
Just give it a few seconds to let people join, and then we'll kick it off. Cool.
But yeah, we know many of you will have questions about what it's like to live and study at Kent, so we'll do our best to try and talk about our experiences.
Yeah. Cool. 27, 29. Let's get to like 30. Oh, okay, we're dropping off. Right. Um, I'll start it. So yeah, so this is an Instagram live just about sort of studying at Kent, living at Kent, what everything's like. I'll go first. So to sort of introduce myself, my name's Jack. I'm a second year marketing student at Kent, and I'm also doing the optional year in industry. So that's like it sort of expands your degree into like a 4-year degree rather than 3 years, and then your third year is like on a placement with a company. Um, and yeah, I'm studying on the Canterbury campus. Yeah, Amelia, go on.
Yeah, so my name's Amelia, and I'm studying forensic science. I'm in second year as well, doing a placement year in between, so 3-year course into a 4-year course, and I'm based at Canterbury as well.
Cool, fantastic. So yeah, any questions you've got? I think there's like a Q&A box or question box down below. Yeah, so any questions, pop them in that, and then we can see that. It's super easy. Um, So yeah, just to sort of start off, I'll ask you, why did you choose Kent? Why Kent? Why not other universities? What did Kent have?
Yeah, so when I was researching like about my course at different universities, I at first I looked at like the league tables to see what kind of was the best for my course, and Kent
Hmm.
was actually one of the top ones. So that's what initially drew me to it. But then when I looked at like the different stats, it was really good for employability, which is what I was looking for, because I wanted a degree that would help me enter the working world and not just study and
Yeah,
then not be able to get a job. But I also like the fact that it had a TF gold standard, which means like the teaching's really good. And I like the
mhm.
location as well, because it's like not too far from London. Like it's really easy to travel, and it's not too far away from where I live at home. And also the fact that it's like a campus uni, so then everything I needed would already be on campus, and I wouldn't need to worry. But yeah,
Yeah,
what about you? Why did you choose Kent?
yeah. You pretty much summarized it for me there. So in terms of like the choosing the uni, the course was the most important thing for me. I know it's a balance between like location and what you're studying, but in terms of like what Kent included, what the marketing course was like, what sort of modules were there, they were all sort of really interesting for me. I had not done business before, so the first year is like general sort of little bit of business, a little bit of marketing, a little bit of accounting, and so if you sort of chose a degree that wasn't quite right, but within business, you can kind of jump around a bit in your second year. It didn't really set you off to a bad start, but marketing was what I chose, and I really enjoyed it, and I sort of continued on to my second year. Um, the next thing, yeah, was the TEF Gold, so I sort of narrowed it down to like a few universities that looked really interesting. The course looked really great, and then had a look at the level of teaching, which is not something that you really think about before you come.
Yeah.
But the fact someone's done all the hard work for you, and they've sort of looked at the level of teaching and sort of past students and what they've thought, it really helps. So some of them were sort of bronze, a lot of them were silver, and only a few of them were gold.
Yeah.
Kent was gold, so that really narrowed it down for me. And then yeah, the last but not least is like the location. So I'm sort of from the northwest of England, small little town, but then next to a city. And that was the same thing down here, but on a bigger and better scale. So
Yeah.
Canterbury itself is like really sort of quiet, peaceful, quaint. You can sort of be away from it all and be right by the beach and everything. But then quite literally within like an hour, you're straight into London, bigger city in terms of like jobs and stuff to do on the weekend. It's just
Yeah.
great.
Got a
So
bit of
real like
everything.
yeah, best of both worlds, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
I'm just gonna see if we've got any questions coming in.
Sure.
Um, oh, someone asked, could you please brief us about the classes? Is it like happening online, face to face? What's your course like?
Yeah, so last year, the majority of stuff was all online. The only thing that was in person was sort of workshops that were all socially distanced.
Mm.
This year, the for the first term, the lectures have been online, and then seminars have been in person. You can register as a remote student, so if you're not sort of happy going into seminars, you don't have to miss out. You can just sort of choose to study remotely and sort of study virtually over sort of Microsoft Teams.
Mm.
But that's how it's been for the first term. I'm not too sure what the university's got planned for the second term. I don't know whether it's going to sort of change it round or keep it the same. But yeah, it's definitely been a balance that caters for what you or how you want to study. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I remember
Yep.
reading something about they hope that in the spring term everything will be in person, but I think
Okay.
it just depends how it's been going, if it actually happens or not. But
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to really know for sure until we get to that point.
yeah,
But we're heading in the right direction, which is
yeah.
great. Cool. Any other questions? Yeah.
Um, Let me just see. Oh, someone's asking about the different accommodation options.
Okay, cool. We'll skip to the accommodation question we got here then. So like in terms of like accommodation, where did you stay in your first year? Or
So in my first year, I stayed on campus in Parkwood, like in the
okay,
houses.
yeah,
So there was actually six of us, and it's with like a shared bathroom. There are two bathrooms, and then a whole kitchen we share. Um, so no ensuite, but like I know people always look for ensuites usually, but I don't think it's that bad to share. Like as long as everyone cleans up after themselves, it's all good.
yeah. It gets a lot of bad press, doesn't it? But then at the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
time, yeah, it's a really nice sort of nice experience, especially living in the Parkwood houses.
Yeah,
That's
because
like
it's like a student village, so it's like its
yeah,
own sort of community, and it's really easy to make friends there and socialize.
yeah, definitely, definitely. I can definitely see that. In my first year, I was in Keynes College.
Oh yeah.
So mine was ensuite, so you had your own bathroom. But I opted for the catered package. So my
Oh,
breakfast and dinner was included, and you sort of make your own lunch. And that was the best thing for sort of me. It sort of allowed me to like focus on my studies or sort of socializing with friends and stuff. And then I can sort of wake up in the morning and go straight for like a breakfast, or in
mm,
the evening you've got dinner sort of laid out for you, and there's like loads of choices of like food. It wasn't like you've got one option and that's it. You've got
yeah,
like sort of four or five, sort of caters to different sort of dietary requirements too. So you never really had the same thing twice, which was when I sort of presumed it would be. But yeah, you literally don't have the same thing twice, which is just really nice.
yeah,
And yeah, King's College is sort of lovely, like straight on campus. Dolce Vita was a restaurant that I had all my sort of food at. But yeah, really nice rooms. Great showers, really. Yeah, couldn't
yeah.
complain.
Perfect.
Um,
So another question
mhm.
is, what do you like most about your course?
That's a really good question. I think for like the thing that really benefited me from my like first year, it's probably different for different people. But in like
Mm,
marketing and like general business, your first year is like an overview, so it sort of makes sure that everyone's on at the same level.
yeah,
I think when I came, I had like a little bit of like anxiety around whether I was going to be like behind other people and like have to like play catch up before it's even started. But the fact it like it's sort of irrelevant of your background, they sort of start you at the same level. And if you don't understand something, you can always ask. But yeah, everyone's at the same like playing field, definitely for year two.
yeah.
In terms of like what I'm doing at the minute, I don't know if anyone's on the call that's like looking to do marketing, but we do like a sort of virtual marketing sort of business. thing, like simulation almost. So you have to like run like a smartphone business, and it's like set over like a month and a half. And so each week you've got to like choose or like make decisions as like the company and like what kind of smartphones you want to make. You like design the phones on this simulation, and then choose the prices and like what markets you're going to sell them to. So it's like really hands on. Like I think sometimes university can be like sitting in front of a lecture, taking notes, and then that's it. But it was sort of quite the opposite for me. It's really hands on. Sort of messing around with like technology and stuff, which is just yeah, great. Better than just like a pen and paper and like writing. So that's been really fun. Yeah. Anything for you that sort of stood out?
I feel like my course is like very suited just to like my interest because I'm naturally very interested in like crime. Like I'm always watching like crime documentaries, all of that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
like Netflix and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So then it feels really cool when I actually get to like dress up in like the forensic suits and like do the stuff. I feel like I'm in CSI.
Oh,
um,
fantastic! Like
yeah,
really hands on then.
yeah, yeah. So it's very like practical, as well
Yeah.
as like theory, obviously. But I like that the fact that it's like a very open degree. Like you can go into lots of different jobs with it. So
Hmm.
if you're not sure on like set on what you want to do, there's still like loads of different routes you can go as well.
Yeah. Oh, amazing! That's really good.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I saw a message on like the comments about like mechanical engineering major. I'm not too sure. I don't know about yourself, but there'll be sort of links and things, so you can sort of contact the school directly, engineering sort of school directly, and ask that kind of question.
Mm. And they
Yeah, I'm not
should
too sure.
list all the different courses on the Kent website if you're going
Yeah,
for
I
like
agree.
undergraduate degrees or what level of study you're looking at.
Hmm. Okay. What are your thoughts on the facilities at Kent, in terms of like sort of buildings or like things to do? Do you get sort of much use out of that in the first year?
Yeah, so with first year, if you're living on campus or you're a first year student, you get a free gym membership. So I tried to make full use of that last year,
Yeah, same.
by using all the sports facilities and like going to the gym and stuff. So I really enjoyed that. And also all like the bars on campus. I tried to go to all of them and try it out, and it's all really
Yeah,
good. I like the fact that it's all on campus already, so you don't need to necessarily leave campus to go for a drink or anything. And also
literally all
there's a
on your
cinema
door.
on campus. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
So yeah, I went to the cinema a few times and it was really good. So I'd really recommend. But yeah,
yeah,
what kind of
yeah.
facilities did you use?
So the cinema was again something that I like didn't know that we had.
Oh
So I
yeah.
sort of totally missed the Gulbenkian, didn't really know much about it, and then got here and like got an email, I think, and they were like, "Oh, we're showing this like it was like the Christopher Nolan film, that like really confusing film that they couldn't really grasp." But really, yeah, really great fun. I also quite like the co-ops too. I think they sort of
Oh
get
yeah.
mixed. So I always like thought, oh, we're going to be onto the campus, going to be miles away from all the shops. There might be like a few little like tiny stores on campus, but like things might be really expensive or for like
Mm,
convenience and stuff. But the co-ops are like great. There's sort of two, one in sort of Parkwood and then one by Cades College. And yeah, it's like all the prices of stuff are just like normal sort of co-op prices. It's like a massive sort of store. It's got everything that you need in there from like fresh and frozen and all sorts.
mm.
So like that was something that really sort of took me by surprise. I was like, oh my God, like there's all
Yeah.
this stuff. And then yeah, like the library as well.
Mm.
Again, it's sort of one of those things that you think that every university's got a library, like they're all the same, but like a Templeman library is massive, not only for just like getting
Yeah.
books up, but like studying, so many like study spaces. It's got the cafe as well. So
Yeah.
cafe's lovely. There's like yeah, so much to do.
Yeah. And they've got like those group study like rooms as well
Yeah,
you can book.
yeah. So you can book like those ones. You can even book like the tiny sort of like one person ones as well.
Mm.
So if you're in like a busy house or like a flat, there's like lots of noise going on, you can just book tiny little room to just like concentrate or like do some
Yeah.
work or like an online exam or something. Just
Yeah.
yeah, really really good places to like do stuff.
Yeah, I really like how they divide the areas of the library into like different noise levels.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's really good if you need to concentrate on something.
Yeah. Or like vice versa. If you like sort of like I like studying with a bit of background noise, like being
Mm,
complete silence. I just can't like focus, but a little bit of like background noise or sort of talking, it gets me on the zone. I like just yeah, really, really good.
yeah, yeah.
Cool. Any more questions?
Just checking now. Um, what are the conditions for accepting foreign students to study at your university?
I again don't know. Um, don't know if there's sort of again it'd be all on the website and there'll be sort of emails. You can sort of email and ask. Um, in terms of like contacting the university to ask these kind of questions, I've had no problem with at all. Like they're normally really, really fast to respond, or if you email the wrong person, they'll just like forward the email on to the right people. Yeah, it's all sort of well connected. So any sort of questions like that, yeah, more than happy to just sort of direct them over to the people on the website, and they'll
Yeah.
answer them for you.
And also a question about scholarships. So all the
Yeah,
information about scholarships you should be able to find on the website as well. Just search scholarships and it should all come up with all the different ones that are available.
yeah, it's definitely worth looking through them. I think there's quite a few that you don't normally think like you can or can't apply for. So yeah,
Mm,
definitely worth a little look at that page on the website, regardless of yeah who you are, what you're doing.
yeah.
Um, how have you sort of found like employability stuff? So like getting a job at university, or like maybe sort of you said you're doing a placement next year, like sort of me. Like how's
Mm.
that been for you?
Yeah, so I've had a lot of employability support from the uni, because as soon as I joined, I was set on getting a part-time job. And then I kind of discovered this work study scheme that the uni offers, where it's like they have a lot of jobs, or like based in Canterbury or wherever you're based, as well as like on-campus jobs as well. And
Hmm.
then it's kind of like, because it's like run by the uni, it's very flexible in terms of like balancing with your studies, so they're very like understanding. So I actually managed to get a job through that scheme, um, and they helped me with like working on my CV. Like you can book like mock interviews and like appointments to help with your CV, which I found really really useful. So they've been really really good help.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like you get like sort of 15-minute, like really quick appointments, just sort of run through your CV. It's not like really heavy. It's just like change that, do this, add that. Yeah, really, really easy to sort of do. I've also like done a bit about like LinkedIn, so I didn't really know much about like LinkedIn
Yeah.
and how important it sort of can be, especially in sort of like business and things for myself. And so the university runs like online appointments for that on like how to set one up, like feedback on like your profile and like who you can like get in contact with to like build your profile and your portfolio of like sort of friends and contacts. So that's also been sort of really important, especially for like getting a placement in your sort of third year. It just really helps sort of build that like professional, yeah, portfolio.
Yeah.
In terms of like jobs, I'm the same as you. I got mine through the work study scheme, but that's not the only way. You can sort of find work on campus. So through the co-ops, and there's loads of people that get jobs that way. Even just sort of like the bars as well, albeit on campus or off campus. So down in Canterbury, there's loads of bars and cafes. They're always looking for sort of part-time work. Again, there's supermarkets down there. There's retail stores down there. So there's loads of that, albeit sort of part-time work through the year or like the build-up for Christmas, like a
Mm.
Christmas part-time job. That's good too. And then if you're happy to commute a little bit, I think it's like sort of half an hour to get to Ashford. There's a designer outlet in Ashford. We've got loads of like sort of clothing and retail stores there, and they take a load of students as well. So if you're into your sort of fashion or clothing, you can have a look at getting a job there, and there's sort of bonuses as well with discounts on clothes, which is really good.
Mm.
Um, yeah. How has it been to make friends at uni, Amelia? Like,
Yeah, so I feel like it's I know it's like something that a lot of people find scary, like, oh, what if I don't make any friends?
Hmm.
But I think that's like, you definitely will make friends. Like, there's so many, like, everywhere you go, there's opportunities to make friends, whether it's like with your housemates, at parties, at societies, like literally everywhere. So I wouldn't say to stress anyone, don't stress.
Yeah.
um, yeah. It's been good. I feel like it was harder last year, with all like the COVID restrictions, but now everything's eased up. It's been a lot easier, and I've met so many people.
Yeah, definitely the same. Like with the COVID restrictions, I feel like it sort of held us all back a little bit, and then as soon as it
Yeah,
like sort of began to release, everyone's like desperate to like make friends and talk to
yeah,
people and just like catch up with stuff. Like first year we've all been like faces on a screen on like Microsoft Teams, so it's nice to like put faces to names and like voices and go,
yeah,
oh, I
definitely.
spoke to you in this little breakout room and stuff. So that's been really, really nice. But yeah, there's so many opportunities to meet people. You meet so many people that yeah, it's like it's sort of hard not to make friends in that way.
Yeah,
Yeah, really wouldn't worry about something that you are worrying about. You'll yeah meet so many people. There's like little sort of meetings and arrangements that the uni does as well. So like coffee mornings and stuff. So if you really were sort of struggling, they hold these like little sort of meetings that you can go and like grab a coffee on campus and meet sort of people
mm,
that are there that are in like the same position as you. So
yeah.
yeah,
And I know
really
you
wouldn't
do
worry.
the like a walking buddy scheme as well, which is also
Yeah,
a
yeah,
way
I've
to
seen
make
that.
friends.
That's really nice. And you see more of like Canterbury as well that way.
Yeah,
If you
exactly.
like come from like afar, you don't really know the area. It's quite nice to like get your
Mm,
bearings too.
yeah, because there's a lot of greenery in Canterbury as well.
So many things to like do and go and like see. Yeah, it's like
Mm,
you're by London, which is great, but like you're also in Kent, and like it's like so much around here. Like I'm not sort of from the area, so that to like come down and like visit all these places, it's just been great. Yeah.
yeah. So are you involved in like any societies on that note?
Yeah. So last year I was in loads. It sort of built up work wise, but I need to get back into it. But in
Mm,
terms of like academic societies, for me, you've got like the marketing society, which is like my course, and then like a general business one as well.
mm.
But then yeah, like last year I joined the swimming society. So I did a little bit of swimming, something I'm really into. And then I did a bit of yoga as well. That was
Oh,
something that I'd like never done before. I thought, why not? I'm at uni, I can like give it a go. And it's really hard. Like I didn't
yeah.
realize quite how difficult it would be and how like inflexible I am.
Yeah,
But that's all the sort of fun of it. Like you
yeah,
don't need to be good at everything and do everything and like I've tried it all before.
mm,
Everyone's in the same boat. Go there and just try things out. Like
yeah,
it's a great time to do it in university.
yeah, exactly. And I think there's like over 200 different societies at Kent, so there's literally something for everyone. So many things to try, so many people to meet that way.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Did you join any this year?
Yeah, so I'm in the Kent Dance Society, and they're very active. Like, with the dance classes, they have two shows a year. Um,
Wow.
so I think one of them is coming up, Fusion. It's called, and there's also like loads of socials they always have, whether it's like going out clubbing or like a movie night, like lots of different ones as well. And I'm also in like K-pop Dance Society, and also academic wise, the Forensic Science Society,
Hmm.
and they organise a lot of talks, where you can like meet people in the field, which is good for like connections wise,
Yeah.
and also like trips to like museums. Like last week, we actually went to London, and we went to the Jack the Ripper Museum and went on like a
Oh,
walking tour of all the places. So that
oh,
was really
cool.
fun.
Yeah,
So yeah,
sounds good.
all the societies are like really active in Kent. Yeah.
Amazing. Any more questions come through?
Let me check. Don't think so.
Okay, yeah, if you have any questions, do feel free to put them below, and then yeah, we'll answer them. But in terms of like finance stuff, it's something it's not really like spoken a lot about. Um, how has it sort of been for you, like finance wise, and like was it build up to Christmas? I know we're all like aware of that, so like
Mhm.
there's more things to do, more events on, like buying presents. Like, how have you managed it?
Yeah. So at the start of the year, I make like a spreadsheet where I can budget for the year and make sure I've like got everything sorted out, allocated different things, different amounts,
Hmm.
and like calculated like a weekly budget to set myself to make sure I don't spend too much, especially just not to run out of money when like student loans come in. So
Hmm.
I would really recommend people to make like a weekly allowance. But there's also budgeting
Yeah.
apps you can get that I used last year and I found them really helpful as well. But also having a student bank account now, I found really helpful as well. Like if you do go over just a tiny bit, there's always that overdraft to like save you if you're in need of like
Yeah.
extra money sometimes. Getting lots of part-time jobs because there's so many available in Canterbury. So that's what's really helped me. But yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I agree with the student bank account. Like, not only did you get like bonuses, so I'm with like Santander, and you got a 4-year rail card, which like
Mm.
halves sort of rail fares or like a third off rail fares. So that's definitely something. And then yeah, you've got the overdraft that's got sort of 0% interest on it. So I think mine's like £1,500. I've got like that to play with. I don't pay any interest, any money for it. It's like free to use, like the 3 or 4 years that you're in uni. I've also got like a separate bank account. So like there's like Monzo and like Starling. And those like sort of online accounts have got like they're called like pots, so you can like put money in like a separate pot, it's not in your main bank account. So I use that to like budget a little bit. So I like put a week or like a month spending in like that, so I know I've got like that money set aside. I know how much extra money I've got left over for like the rest of the year. But yeah, I definitely agree with like the Excel spreadsheet. That's something I've not really thought of, especially going into like second year. So I'm now living off campus, so I've got like rent to pay. I've got bills that are like separate. I've got like Wi-Fi to pay as well, and so they're all things that like just sort of sit in the background, and you sort of the money's like sapped out your account every month, and so you don't really know like how much you've got. So to be able to like account for that, and then like know that um,
Sorry.
it's all right. You can like account for that. So like at the start of the year, you can be like, oh, I've got like 12 payments of this, so I can like budget for that, and then this is how much I've got left over. That's yeah, definitely
Mm.
really handy to do. It's just been on top of it. Like it can be a bit daunting, and like when your like student loan first payment comes through, it's like, oh my God, look at all this money! Like I can do so much. And you can. It's just being sensible and just knowing that you've got enough to like last you all the way through. And if you haven't, then it's a great to start looking at jobs and things like that. It's
Yeah.
just yeah, being ahead of the game, so you're not sort of rushed or in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah. So another question. What do you like about being a Kent student?
It's a really good question. I think I just quite like the community sort of feel, and everyone's sort of relaxed and like happy.
Mm.
In terms of like sort of uni, you can go to like a city uni, and it hasn't got that like community campus feel, and that was something that was really like important to me. I quite like sort of knowing that I like belong somewhere, so I can be like wandering around campus, and all the people around me are all like the same in the same sort of boat, in the same shoes, like doing the same kind of thing. Um, and like, yeah, I think just in terms of like people I've met and the lecturers and the staff are just really friendly, and like there's sort of so much to sort of do. It's more than just sort of teaching and learning. There's like everything else that comes along with it. So something that I'm sort of a part of is the Aspire business startup journey. So that's something that's
Okay.
in like sort of the business side of things, and that's like a team of people that are employed sort of by the university. It's all part of the university to help you like start up a business. So if you've like got an idea for like a company you want to start, or you like the idea of like entrepreneurship, you can go there and then be a part of that journey, and you can like win funding as well. So if you've got a really good idea for a business, you can like win money, and they'll give you money to like help you like start up and like invest in it. So it's more than just like your course. It's all these things that like proper start your sort of journey into sort of real working life.
Yeah.
Sort of you sort of grow as a student, I suppose, as you go through, grow as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, so what I like is like all the opportunities that Kent kind of provides us with, whereas like work wise, like you've mentioned, like there's so much support to help that transition,
Hmm.
not just transition into like the working world, also the transition from like college or A levels to coming to university. Like
Yeah,
there's so much
definitely.
support, like that's something I really like about Kent, whether it's like emotional support, there's like counseling available you can have,
Hmm.
or like support groups you can go to as well, so I know that's there if I ever need it. And just also like social wise opportunities, like you there's not, like I'm never bored, there's always something to do, which I
Hmm.
really like. I like to keep busy.
Yeah.
So that's something I really like about being a Kent student.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a good point about like the well-being side of things. I think that can
Mm,
be like looked over a little bit sometimes. But even if you don't need it now, it's nice to know it's there like in the future.
yeah,
Um, because it can be a big thing, a big sort of jump from like school at
definitely.
home into a different part of the country doing a different thing. So yeah, it's nice to know it's there and they all do such a great job. So yeah, it's yeah,
Yeah,
really beneficial. Any last questions before we go?
I'll give people a few seconds to pop their
Cool.
name.
If you haven't, yeah, we're sort of back like fortnightly. So in like another sort of 2 weeks' time, I'll have another similar like conversation with sort of different students doing different courses. So yeah, if you haven't got a question now, yeah, sort of same time in sort of 2 weeks, you can ask it there.
Yeah. And
Um,
if you have any questions in the meantime, just message the university on Instagram or any of the other social media accounts, and someone will get back to you.
yeah, cool. No more questions.
I don't believe so.
Cool. Okay.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thanks
Speak
for
to you all
tuning
soon.
in. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, cool.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.